Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Quest Nutrition. Visit questnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is the NPC National Classic Physique overall champion, George Peterson. Welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Overall champion, Nationals.
I tell you, I still can't believe it. If somebody would have told me I would have been the overall national champion 6 months ago, I would have told them they're crazy.
Now, George, you're not driving the cash cab, are you?
No.
George's office. You know, unfortunately, I have to admit that's my office too. We're not much far removed from the car. It's the only place you can find quiet, right?
Exactly. Like everybody's all talking in the office, and so I said I'll just go out to my car in the parking lot.
Classic Physique champion by day or by night, I should say. And by day, you work for Optimum Cable Company. That's in Long Island, New York, and you're responsible. What do you actually do there?
I do over-the-phone tech support for phone, internet, and television. So whenever Optimum customers have problems with their services, I'm the one they talk to. And I set up appointments if I can't fix it over the phone, things of that nature.
Your voice sounds familiar. I wonder if I talked to you the other day. I moved to Florida, my wife and I, obviously. You probably know that. And this was about 3 weeks ago. And the people who actually bought my house canceled my service and started their own service before I left the house. So all of a sudden...
You know something, Dave? That happens all the time. Yes.
I said, how can you guys cancel my service without me telling you to cancel it? I never heard of that in my life.
Right. You're absolutely right. And it's something that happens with sales. Don't ask me how. I don't know how it happens, but it does. And I'm usually part of the crew that has to clean that up.
Yeah, I said I didn't know it was a routine policy to shut people's cable off without actually asking them if they wanted it shut off, and they were like blah 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 blah, but no one knew what to say to me.
I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry.
I know. It's not your fault. Anyway, let's get back to you because you had quite the career so far. I mean, you started in 2007 in bodybuilding. You were, I would assume, started out probably competing in the middleweight class, I believe, right?
Right, that's correct, middleweight.
And you worked your way up all the way up to heavyweight at 5'7.5".
That's right. In 2012, you interviewed me after I won the Mets in 2012. I was a light heavyweight at that time. Then went up to heavies in 2013. Went for a couple of national shows, North Americans and then nationals after that. Didn't do well at all. So after that, I stepped away from the sport for 3 years now. And when I saw Classic Physique came out, I was thinking to myself, it seems interesting. I still really don't know what they really would be looking for. Everybody always say that they use Frank Zane as a type of template kind of thing. Even though I know I don't have the type of physique that Frank Zane had, but I felt like maybe my body could look the best it could at a lower weight because I did not like how it looked when I went up in weight.
Changed when you gained weight and you went up to that well, obviously you look great at light heavyweight because you won the overall, but when you moved up to that heavyweight and you try to make the next jump, what do you think in your physique changed that you said to yourself, you know what, I don't like the way this is going?
I lacked in conditioning. Believe it or not, because when people see me now, they the first thing they mention is my very small waist. It did not appear that when I got bigger, it's like my small waist went away almost, and it was not I just didn't like the way I looked. It took away from the things that I can accentuate with my physique, like the small bone structure, the pleasing lines. It just took away from it,
It took away the classic look, dare I say, right?
There you go, the classic look, exactly.
And the reason I say that, and I say that with a bit of sarcasm, is that I've seen a lot of people criticizing your physique for not being a classic physique and for being a bodybuilder physique. And I think where people are getting it wrong is that classic is bodybuilding. It's just the shape of your body. And you've got a teeny tiny waist, you got big flaring lats, you have everything classic about you. There's nothing that's not classic about your physique. Is that disturbing to you that people are saying, hey, that guy shouldn't have won because he doesn't have a classic physique?
It is a little disturbing. I've seen the talk. I've seen the forums where people are saying there's nothing quote unquote classic about this guy, things of that nature. I really don't I'm confused by what they're saying, kind of, because then you have to ask yourself, well, what is classic? Because okay, you're gonna say Frank Zane, he's classic, right? But Frank Zane was also a bodybuilder. So if like if people are saying, oh no, he's not classic, he's too bodybuilder, to me that really doesn't make any sense at all. It depends on what type of bodybuilder look I have, because at the end of the day, I think classic physique is still bodybuilding. It's just how the guys are presenting themselves. Are they meeting the guidelines of the small waist? Like you said, the flaring lats, that V taper. If you have that, that's what classic is. Nobody said Arnold. I mean, you would say Arnold Schwarzenegger is classic. You could say Frank Zane's classic. You could say Flex Wheeler's classic. And Flex Wheeler and Frank Zane are nothing that didn't look alike. So I really don't get it.
Well, I think that the problem is that when I had suggested that they form this division a number of years ago, and they told me it'll never happen, I said there needs to be a classic bodybuilding division like they have in Europe. I wasn't the guy who invented the idea. The Europeans invented it. And I think when they decided to do the division finally, because there was a need there, because there was too many men's physique guys, and there was no in between, they didn't want to call it classic bodybuilding because they had used that name in Europe, and I don't think they wanted people to confuse those divisions, so they called it classic physique. I personally think it will probably be changed next year, the classic bodybuilding. At least that's what I'm hearing the rumors are. So it is classic bodybuilding. It's not classic physique. If you ask Steve Weinberger how it's judged like bodybuilding. The biggest guy with the best conditioning wins. Obviously, given the fact that you have limitations on your weight, given your height, proportion becomes a much more, important aspect of this division, because you can't overcompensate with oodles and oodles of muscle because you won't make weight. So for you, how difficult was it to get down to 176 after you had been a solid light heavyweight bodybuilder?
It was work. My coach Justin Miller, who was helping me out with this prep, for both Easterns and Nationals, he pretty much had to torture me a little bit. He had me on zero carbs for a little while. We would fluctuate up and down sometimes, but for the most part, it was on zero. I had to kill it, with the cardio. See, the thing about me is that, if anything, I'm more of a hard gainer than a hard loser. So going down in weight, I was never really afraid I wouldn't make weight. It was just a matter of would I make weight on time, because when we started to, try to get me down, it's almost like my body said, okay, no, let's stay at 185. I want to stay here. And then we really had to push the envelope to get past that, down to the 170s. So it was work, but we got there.
Now I know Justin for probably 25 years now. Him and I have been friends. And he's very passionate about what he does. He's very intense. And if I know Justin, he probably was calling you 50 times a day, asking you what you weigh and what you're doing and what you're eating. Was that helpful for you?
Absolutely. And that gave me even more confidence to be working with Justin, because I feel like that's what a coach should do, who cares and really wants the athlete to succeed, checking in with them all the time. I mean, I'm used to me being the one to have to check in with the person who's helping me, mostly, but Justin, way before I could even text him, he's texting me, what's your weight? Text me your weight when you wake up, and things of that nature, so yeah, Justin's just awesome.
Yeah, he was very proud of you, and he was sending me updates. Even when I wasn't at the Easterns, he was sending me updates, so I kind of knew everything that was going on with you. I understand earlier in your career you had worked with Oscar Arden a little bit when you were trying to put on some muscle size. How was that relationship?
Oscar's great in his way as well. I mean, Oscar's best strength is really, motivating the athlete. He'll get into the athlete's mind, make you really, believe that you can accomplish anything, which is true. I mean, anybody who works hard for something, really believes in something, is passionate about something, can accomplish, anything they want. And at the end of the day, in honesty, I think I got a little bit too much of that than I should have, because when I was getting all of that and feeling like, okay, yes, I can win, and then I didn't, back in 2013, it really got me down. It broke me a little bit, which is kind of the reason why I walked away from the sport, and haven't been back for 3 years. So it was good, but it was a little bit of a bad thing for me. So I mean, the thing about Justin is he'll tell you, oh, you have the potential to win, but he'll also say, but we never know. We never know who else is going to show up. All we can do is control what you can control, and that right there is very satisfying to me.
Now, George, I looked at, Justin sent me a picture of, I don't know if Johnny can pull it up off of Facebook or not, but it was a picture of you and the middleweight winner in the bodybuilding at the photo shoot you guys did. And it was like it was a pose down between the two of you. You both hit a shot. And, no disrespect to the middleweight winner, because I think he was probably one of the best. That was one of the best divisions in the show. I think you could have won the bodybuilding too, if you would have done the middleweight division. I mean, having said that, I mean, is there any, I guess you could say, attraction to possibly, now that you're a pro, trying to go to that 212 division, or is Classic where you feel that you belong?
You know something, Dave? I had a feeling that you might ask me this question. So, honestly, as of right now, I don't think I have any craving to go to bodybuilding. But the main reason why is because it feels really special to me, this national win. Not only because it's nationals, but this is the first nationals for Classic Physique,
right,
that I won here. So it really feels like home for me now. It feels like this is my home. I belong here. So and now in the pros they added 10 pounds, I believe.
5.
So that means I don't have to struggle so much.
They added 5 pounds.
So that means I don't have to struggle so much to go down to 177. I can go to 187. So I think for right now, I think I'm going to stay at Classic Physique. Who knows what will happen in the future, though? I mean, maybe I will get the craving again, but I think Classic Physique is home for me.
Yeah, now they raised the weight class 5 pounds in the pro division, but I think the pro weights were already 5 pounds heavier. Is that right?
I think so. I believe
so. It might be
yes.
a 10-pound increase from what you were as an amateur. I think that's what you mean.
Right, exactly, yes.
Now, you said at 186 you looked great, so I mean that should be pretty easy for you to come in at 186.
Right. I mean, at 177, people would think, like Chris Aceto said, he thought I was 220. So that means if I go up to 187, then people might think I'm 135 up there or something. I don't know.
Yeah. There's another. Johnny's showing me a picture from the Nationals. There's another picture of him next to the middleweight. There was actually a comparison shot Justin had put up, I believe. Did he put that up on his Facebook page?
I don't think he put it up on his Facebook page. Yeah.
He might have sent it to me privately. Yeah, but you could see the other guy all the way on the other side there. If Johnny puts that picture up on the left.
Yeah, we did it. We did a most muscular together, and we did I think a rear double bicep together.
When looking at your physique now, what would you like to see better about it? What do you feel that you could have been a little bigger or a little shapelier or whatever?
Honestly, definitely, I want to get my legs a little bit bigger, my quads a little bigger, my calves a lot bigger. I want to get,
right.
And I really want to improve on certain poses, like my front double bicep. I need to improve that shot. My rear double bicep is like my primary weapon. And I was telling Justin, I want more weaponry. I don't want to just only rely on my back, because I know that is my strong point. I want to get that front double bicep better. So if that means getting the arms bigger, you're just working on, I don't know, possibly a stomach vacuum during it. Who knows, But I just want to increase on that.
Would you like to see the Classic Physique division hit all the bodybuilding poses, like the front lat spread, the side tricep? I mean, I don't know why they don't do them. To me, it's kind of silly.
I would love that, because if they could bring those in, especially the most musculars, I would love that, because I have a lot of other shots that are not to toot my own horn or anything, but I have a lot of other shots that look very good. Like the hands on hips most musculars is one of my favorites. The the front lat spread, the rear lat spread. If they added those, I would love to have those in there.
What would you say is going to be? I pretty much know the answer already, because Chris Aceto asked you. But for the people who haven't seen that interview, what would be your first pro show of 2017?
New York Pro, baby. Going right in. May. I'll be there.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, as they say, right?
Exactly.
What would be the attraction to New York, just because that's where you're from?
Well, yeah, it's it's hometown, and New York Pro, I feel like is one of the one of the more popular, pro shows. It's up there, like before like, Arnold Classic, Olympia and things, but it's up there, and I feel like it'll be a good debut for me.
When you see pictures of Danny Hester winning the Olympia and Arash Rabar coming in second, how do you feel you stack up next to those guys?
Oh man, that's a tough question, and people have asked me this kind of things, and I've seen these kind of things talked about online. I mean, I may if I can make those developments like in my I believe in my calves and my legs, I feel confident that I can stand next to them and be formidable. I'm not going to say that I would that I would win because you never know, but I think I think I would be formidable.
I happen to agree with you 100%. I think that you'll be a very dangerous competitor up there. I thought probably the biggest competition you had in the whole show this past weekend was the guy who came in second behind you, who we call the Rory Liedermeyer lookalike or clone, because he looks like,
Yeah.
talking about throwback physiques, he looks like he could be Rory Liedermeyer's brother. Were you feeling like this guy might be dangerous in the weight class?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I knew of Alexander Fong before we even got to nationals because he started following me on Instagram. I followed him back. He gave me compliments. I gave him some compliments, and it was clear we were headed towards each other at nationals. And I did feel like he was one of the main guys. Him and the guy who came in third. I don't remember what his name was, but I felt like he was another dangerous competitor because Class B was stacked. A lot of the guys were very good there. But Alexander Fong and the guy who came in third, I felt like definitely was the main competition there.
I thought if Fong came in a little tighter, it would have been a tough battle. I mean, structurally you're a little better than him, but man, this guy could pose, and it made that class really entertaining to watch in the audience. To be honest with you, and I don't want to insult any of the other classes in bodybuilding or anything else, I thought that was the best class in the whole show. You versus Fong in that Class B, Classic Physique. Wow, that was some battle, and I guarantee you, a pro stage, you guys will be battling it out for many years to come.
Awesome! I can't wait. I'm glad. I'm happy for Fong. I'm happy for all the competitors.
Well, George, I want to just once again congratulate you. It's good to see a New Yorker. Now, I'm not a New Yorker anymore, but I was a New Yorker, so it's good to see a New Yorker making good and winning that first Classic Physique national championship. Remember, everyone always remembers the first guy, not the second or third or last guy, but the first guy. So enjoy that victory, and we're looking forward to seeing you on stage at the New York Pro in 2017.
Thank you, Dave, and thanks so much for having me. RXMuscle, love you guys.
It's a pleasure. And Justin, great job on George Peterson. That, however, will take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Quest Nutrition. Visit questnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.